Thank you. Seamus, thanks for that. That's the longest 4 minutes that I've ever heard. Things tend to happen very slowly in the bog, so we'll forgive you for that one. Yeah. So I'm Ciaran Duggan. I comes from Carbery in County Kildare, in northwest County Kildare, and we have 180 hectares of bog there, owned by the community. Our community ownership of the bog goes right back to 1906, when the local landlord distributed the tenancies to his tenants, about 60 of them, and rather than deal with the sticky issue of the bog, he set up a trust, and he vested the bog in a trust. And we've been, I'm one of the current trustees, and we've been looking after our bog since 1906. I want to talk about, use our story to demonstrate the importance of community and wetland, and indeed in environmental assets, and how we can actually use community very effectively to protect those assets. So, in over a century, we've looked after the bog. We've used it for to provide fuel for local families, and we've protected it. Down through the years, we have resisted the several attempts to have the bog taken over and industrial extraction happen. We resisted very strongly and successfully the attempts to plant monocultural forestry on the bog. That was back in the 1970s and into the 80s. And we did that as a community without experts. We're not experts, but those things, when they were presented to us, just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel right. And so, because we have control, because we do own, the trust owns the bog, we were able to stop those things. Subsequently, it's turned out we were kind of right. The industrial extraction would have ruined it altogether. So would the monocultural forestry. So 40 years ago then, the local community council approached us. They wanted to set up a community enterprise, and that community enterprise was to provide turf to local families using mechanised means. We partnered with them, and for the last 40 years we've been doing that. Local families get their turf, but we did that, and it felt right at the time. But we confined it to one corner of the bog. So that meant that when times moved on and the environmentalists started to look at what we have, back 16, 17 years ago, we were approached, and 2/3 of our bog was designated as a natural heritage area. And we got a very official letter explaining to us what we were not to do ever again with that part of the bog, which we found funny, because that part of the bog is important to us, and it has kept that importance because we didn't do anything to it. So actually, they were telling us not to do all the things we weren't doing anyway, which again, we were able to smile, because we've been managing this bog for a long time, and it's been looking after us. And the winds of change come and go. Actually, we're still there, and the bog is still there. So I think we've been doing a pretty good job. So, come on, the lights are starting to go at me now. Come on, COVID, and we had no bog committee meetings for 2 years. We all had lots of time to think about what we were doing. We were listening to the new science. And at our first in-person meeting after COVID about a year ago, we had a discussion as to what we should do and should we maybe think about changing what we were doing with the non-designated part of the bog where we're cutting. And we said we'd investigate what was out there. We contacted the Community Wetlands Forum, and I've been involved in community development all my life, but this organisation is something else. They embraced us, and they've been showing us, and they've been helping us to look at all the different things we can do, possible things we can do. But it's other communities, not experts with shiny shoes telling us what we should do. It's other people who have grappled with the same sort of problems we've grappled with, and they're the people who have come and advised us, and we've gone to them. And sorry, I was supposed to be doing these pictures all the time as well. We're getting great help from the Community Wetlands Forum. We're very happy with that. I'm just going to tell one last little story, even though the red light is on. Last week we had a meeting of some of our local people. About 25 of us came together to start talking about the cultural importance of our bog to us, and we actually had a local writer came and read some poetry to us and stuff like that. And after that, we were chatting about things from the past, and one of the people who were the original people who cut turf with the sleighing told us that about 30 years ago, one of the last times he cut turf by hand, they were around the bog, and as they were cutting, they came on down in the bog, they came on what they thought initially was a pile of sticks. But it turned out that it was the remains of a deer, skull, antlers, bones, and embers from where there had been a fire. And this was 3 meters down in the bog. Now, with our little bit of knowledge that we've gained recently, bogs grow, when it's growing well, they grow at 1 millimetre a year. But that means that meal that had been had was had by somebody in our community approximately 3,000 years ago. And there's a connection back where the bog preserved that for us. I think it's up to us to preserve the bog.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Ciaran.